Welcome to the CrossFit Max podcast.
What is going on, guys, and thank you for tuning in. In this episode, we are going to talk about how you can focus on your training or shift your focus on your training during really busy moments of life, whether that's because work is super demanding, whether that's because of family purposes or even social, meaning friends. We're going to talk about how to balance these more challenging moments in life with your fitness. So we hope you enjoy, and let's get into it. All right, 3, 2, 1. What is going on, everybody?
Welcome back to your favorite podcast with your favorite podcast hosts.
We have now hit
3 years.
3-year mark of podcasting.
That's crazy.
Which is wild. And hopefully you guys are digging the ride here. I just want to quickly take a peek at how many listens we have got all time. We have 28,433 downloads since we've started.
That's crazy.
Wow. That's crazy, yeah. So we did start, I wasn't sure if it was 2 years or 3 years. Yeah, we did start in April 2023. Wow, that is crazy. My love, what have you learned over the last 3 years of podcasting?
I've learned that I don't know. What have I learned? I don't know.
Seems like a lot.
I've learned that we can be super consistent. We've never missed a week. We missed
1 week not that long ago.
We missed our first week not that long ago. Of 3 years, I think the stats are good there.
Yeah, the stats are very good.
We can commit to something and we will follow through. That's what I learned.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we've gone through.
I feel like I may have known that already, but I know it as a fact now. I have a tangible proof.
Yeah, we've gone through some adversity on this podcast. Hasn't always been technologically easy.
We've recorded episodes.
Yeah.
I've also learned that I can have the same conversation 4 times. back to back to back.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it is crazy to think
what
about.
Have you learned, babe? Give me something.
The amount of people, or the amount of listens. You know, sometimes we're just sitting here having a conversation, the two of us, and on average we get about 150-ish downloads per episode. Some have gone way more, some have gone 500, some get 300. But it is interesting because if you were to think about sitting in front of, like, imagine right now we're sitting down and there's 150 people just like looking at us right now. That would be a very
daunting task.
Yeah. That would be very, very like extreme to be like, oh shoot, like 150 people are sitting down right in front of me listening, right?
Yeah.
So it is freaking cool. The other really cool thing is the amount of people that we've touched on a global level. Like there are, does it show how many countries? There's
every once in a while we get a little DM from someone who's listening like randomly abroad who we've never met before in our lives, and that's super cool.
We've had 32 different countries tune in and 206 different cities around the world.
Damn.
Which is freaking cool. Yeah.
I mean, some of those are like our members traveling.
Yeah. But that is, I'm just like baffled by looking at these stats here, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of hard work. What did I learn?
Yeah, tough question, eh?
Yeah, what have I learned? I've learned that that you can have a bigger influence on a microphone than you thought you would ever have. Right? Like you just kind of click record and go, and you have no idea who's listening, but there is definitely an impact that you can have with your voice on someone's day-to-day life that could really change their outlook, whether that's good, bad, or, you know, same. It is very cool that we have just an impact somehow on someone's day when they're listening.
Yeah, and even if that's just entertainment.
Yeah, whether it's entertainment, whether that's them in their car going to work, whether that's them going for a walk, whether that's them listening while they're working right now. Like, it is freaking cool that people make the active decision to tune in and listen. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. And
If you're taking time out of your day right now to listen to us babble,
yeah,
God bless.
hopefully we provided some value as well. Hopefully you guys have gotten some good tips, good tricks, maybe even some good mindset shifts. Maybe you've taken some things towards your training. Yeah, it's been a cool adventure.
Accountability check-in, a little reminder.
Yeah, that's been really cool. Anyways, yeah, 3 years.
Beautiful.
Congrats, love.
Congrats to you too, babe.
Banter topic. I wanted to bring this up for you.
What is it?
Trend or trash?
Ooh. What was the sound? Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, there we go. And it's inspired by a Instagram influencer, we'll say.
An influencer, as
And
they call them.
I'll give credit to his account here. And his account is called Cheat Day Design. His actual name is, where's his actual name here? Matt Rosenman. Anyways, he does some pretty cool visual marketing designs for things that are protein enriched or make them look healthier, like hydration.
Like spoof design?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I love it.
Trend or trash for you?
Yes.
Protein enriched foods.
Can I do both? Trend and trash?
Trend and trash.
Trend
I kinda
and
like it.
trash for, can I explain?
Yeah, absolutely. You can explain that. That's it. Episode's done. Log off. She gave no answer.
I think it's trash when it's like a situation when it's on a really sugary cereal box and it's like 6 grams of protein or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like emphasizing that it's protein enriched. And then you read the instructions and you actually have to use whole milk for those 6 grams to even be a thing.
Yeah.
And the amount of carbohydrates and fat are so elevated. Like, it's definitely not what you would call a protein dense food. So in those situations, I'm like, they are trying to trick you with the marketing.
Yeah, I'll give you an example that you say that. And this was actually what inspired me to ask you this question.
No way.
He made a reel about a company that is literally selling. It's called Protein Snack Bars, and it's literally just cheese. Like, the actual snack bar is a bag of like individual sliced cheeses. And he's like, this is crazy. It's not protein snack bar. You're
fat.
serving cheese. You're serving cheese. Like, so definitely.
That's funny.
And his whole thing is about like designing, like taking a Dorito bag and making it look like it could be a protein chip.
Okay, I see. So yeah, in those contexts when it's really just, it's actually not accurate and it's really just a marketing scheme, hate it.
Yeah.
When it comes, although the only good thing about it, even in that situation, is that it's making you think about protein intake. So it gets like one mini tiny point for like, at least your brain is going there.
Yeah.
But I love the emphasis on protein in society these days. I feel like there's a growing understanding of the importance of protein. And for example, the enrichment of certain foods with like higher amounts of protein. Sure, ideally you want to have whole food sources of protein, but everything is not ideal, and it can be a tool to help increase your protein take. For example, if you're going to have a bowl of pasta, why don't you have protein enriched pasta? Now, like, don't kid yourself into thinking that's all you need in terms of your protein intake, but like,
it's a better alternative.
It's definitely a much better alternative than just the regular pasta. So I feel like in those situations, I'm like, go for it, trend.
Yeah.
In the marketing scheme where it's tricking you or you're lulling yourself into this false sense that you're eating protein when you're definitely not.
Yeah.
Bad.
I highly recommend you guys go find him on Instagram.
Remind us again.
Cheat Day Design.
Okay.
So
can you send it to me?
Cheat Day Design, where like his first video has like 8 million views on it.
Okay, he's like an influencer.
And he shows that he has he has 558,000 followers.
We love that.
But like his main video is taking Pepsi, redesigning the can of the Pepsi drink and making it look like it's Pepsi Hydrate. So it's like hydrating you, but not changing anything. So he just shows how like the color of the can and the words that you use on it can like trick you into thinking that this is some sort of like hydration. Yeah.
That's hilarious. I wonder.
So some like really cool things on his account. I highly recommend you guys just go actually take a peek at it so you understand what we're talking about here, and it's kind of interesting to see. But for sure, everything you say I definitely agree with. For sure that going, like if you think of food on like a continuum, right, it's definitely going from, let's say, a cookie to a protein cookie is going to be the healthier option. But if you're having a protein cookie for breakfast in the morning and considering that healthy because it has protein in it, well, that's not going to help you with your overall health and with your goals. But if you're like, I want a dessert and I want to get like a protein cookie rather than eating a big chocolate chip cookie, yeah, for sure, that's a healthier alternative to what you were going to choose.
I agree. Beautiful.
Love it.
So mostly trend and trash.
It's kind of a, yeah.
It's tough.
It's trendy. It's for sure trendy.
I do think it's trending. I don't think it's all bad. I also think it's valuable to, you know, be thinking about your protein intake when you're looking at your foods.
Yeah. It is a trend in my opinion. Because it does, like a lot of them, the things that do get you to increase your protein, that's always a good thing. But everything I just said before is definitely going to be key.
Yes. I had a banter topic for you.
Oh, shoot. Double banter topic. Okay, quick. Go.
Quick question.
Yeah.
How was your trip to Mexico?
Oh, my trip to Mexico. So many people asked me this last week. There was no trip to Mexico, unfortunately.
Brandon did not go to Mexico.
The boys did not make our way over.
Didn't make it to the plane.
One of our good buddies had like just a family situation, medical issue, and they had to be there. And as a group, we decided not to go. And
if one of the boys is out, all the boys are out.
All the boys are out, yeah. And then in the end, Tommy ended up getting like gastro as well. Then we ended up getting gastro.
It was definitely the I feel
what
like
was supposed to be an incredible week turned into quite the opposite. Yeah.
I feel that in the game of life that we're living and the game of parenting that we're living, I feel like I leveled up. Like I took on a new boss and I leveled up my parenting skills, because it was like the first time our son had been like vomiting sick ever.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And there was a lot. Oh my God, I can't even talk about it because anyways, I don't want to gross anyone else out on the podcast if you're like me, but it was a lot everywhere all the time. When your toddler is ill in that way, they don't as adults, we just like go to the bathroom.
Yeah, no, they don't. They just let it out there
wherever they are then and there in that moment.
Yeah.
So I feel like I up-leveled my parenting skills.
Nice. I'm happy you feel that way.
But yeah, it was a miserable week.
Very sad and still pale and white as hell, and I just need the sun.
Yeah, you didn't go to a single jungle party.
There was no alcohol. There was no Wednesday jungle pool party happened. I know Tom is definitely listening to this and Justin listening to this and thinking, damn.
Could have been us.
Could have been us on that Wednesday jungle pool party.
I think that on Sunday, like 4 or 5 people were like, oh my gosh, how was Brandon's trip? And I was like, oh, he had so much fun in Pierrefonds for the last week.
Oh, yeah. What an unfortunate time. But that is life.
That is life. And life. There are always curveballs.
Switched it up on us, and here we are. Well, hopefully that trip will get postponed. Hopefully it's not canceled, and the boys will get another trip in one day. Hopefully soon.
Still so many things to be grateful for.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to spend 2 extra days at home with my son. That was kind of cool. I mean, I wasn't sick, and I thought I wasn't going to get sick until it eventually hit me after him, like days after, which was annoying. But anyways, that was kind of cool to just spend a few days with him. He was such a well-behaved young man, little boy.
Was he really?
He was, yeah. Those days were actually quite wonderful during the daytime. He had a few episodes here and there where he was actually sick, but Kind of weird. I think even when he was really sick, he was like sick and then like in like totally a very fine. Good mood, and it was very weird behavior. But anyway, so silver lining is we got to spend a little bit of extra time with my son. Would have loved cute. Mexico though.
Jungle party definitely over that any day.
We did watch The Grinch 4,000 times during those.
I can't believe Netflix is removing it in 2 weeks. What are we gonna do?
Yeah. When Tommy's sick, we let him watch a little bit more screen time because what the hell are you gonna do with a very grumpy and sick toddler? And he is just obsessed with The Grinch, and oh my god, like we have watched that movie way too many times. And then the other day popped up, it was like May 5th, Netflix is removing this movie, and we're like, oh shit, I guess we're just gonna have to buy it then. Like we're gonna have to buy this movie.
How do you buy a movie now?
That's a great question. We're gonna have to figure it out. Maybe YouTube?
If anyone has a copy of the animated version of The Grinch.
What do you mean a copy?
We need it. Like on their computer.
Oh, okay. On their computer.
Like a download.
A download, yeah. CD.
What do you mean a copy? It's not like we have a DVD player.
Well, what are we living in the dark age?
Anyone got it on Blu-ray?
Who says
they probably
copy?
Don't even have
Who says copy?
A copy of like a file.
You guys have the disc version? I prefer to.
Does anyone have the Blu-ray? I don't even think they made this movie on DVD. It came out after DVDs died.
Anyways, we're so dumb. Okay, let's get into our actual
if you're
topic.
Still here, thanks.
Let's get into our topic of conversation, which kind of goes well off the spin here, and we're gonna talk about balancing fitness, work, kids, and real life.
Husbands, wives,
pets, dogs, cats, other creatures that you might have. If you're Alana, goats, chickens, sheep. Any others that she might have? Dog. She also has the dog. But yeah. Anyways, let's go into it. All right. So for sure, when we are trying to, well, first I'll say that like throughout life, there's going to be like ups and downs. There's going to be periods of your life where you're going to be more busy and less busy. There's going to be different focuses that might be on a year-to-year basis. That might be on a month-to-month basis. Yeah. Just top of mind here, think of like accountants, right? Accountants are deep into their life right now with trying to get like everyone's
April 30th coming in hot
with everyone's
tax
returns and everything like that. So like everyone is going to be going through different like ups and downs, ebbs and flows in life here. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about. In some instances, things in this podcast might relate really well to you, and you might feel like, oh, I can really do this part good right now. Yeah. But then at a future date, it might not work for you, and you might have to adjust then. But hopefully some of the things that we tell you will give you the tools to be able to adjust for when the moments are quite busy and when the moments are a little bit slower here.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I think is just really important is just like the mindset going in here is that when we feel like work, life, kids, everything is like very like high stress and demanding from you, it's really important to note that consistency is going to far outweigh perfection.
Right.
And most people, including probably myself and Susie, like we try to be perfect at everything as much as we possibly can. And that's just not the reality when you are going through this like really hectic period of life, right? The less life is demanding from you and the more you want to put into your fitness and into your training, the more you can strive for perfection. But consistency is always going to be the most important thing, but consistency over perfection is going to be a really important mindset to understand in your situation here.
Right.
So just having that like reality check with yourself and understanding where you're at right now, right? Like, are you dealing with a moment right now where work is pulling a lot out of you?
Right.
Right. Like if you have, certain buckets, right? You have your family bucket, you have your work bucket, you have your own personal bucket, right? Or, your kids, things, partner, whatever that is. Maybe you're putting your social bucket, maybe you want to spend more time with your friends, whatever that is. You actually have to just have like an understanding of what is pulling more out of you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and maybe Susan, your situation, what is pulling more out of you in your life right now that maybe people can resonate with?
Being a toddler mom.
Yeah. Go
Having like like last week, for example, having a sick toddler at home. Then, you know, when you're a mom, your things get demoted on the priority list when your little one needs you.
For sure.
So I didn't even go to the gym until Friday last week.
Yeah.
Which is like very, very, very unusual.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes it just doesn't happen. Like you can be consistent, you can have all the systems in place, set yourself up for success, but then, you know, your toddler's throwing up, like you got to just be in mom mode.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then there are other moments for like people, like I was talking about accountants, or people are pulling from their life, and like maybe work is keeping you out a little bit more late at night, right? Maybe you're having to stay beyond the 9 to 5, and you're having to do like bigger projects and things like that. Maybe you also have to work a little bit more on the weekends, or maybe you might have like big social events coming up. Maybe there's weddings, right? We're kind of heading into that season of weddings, right? Weather's getting nicer, so you know, maybe your friends are pulling you for a weekend getaway because it's their wedding, or you have a bachelorette party, right? And socially, that, you know, this one of my good friends' birthday is here, and one of my good friends is doing this, right? So maybe you have to spend a little bit of like acknowledgement, knowing that like, okay, like my friends are pulling me in the social bubble right now, right? The social bucket, excuse me.
Yeah.
Right? So, when this happens, you definitely need to understand that your fitness needs to adapt to this.
Yes.
Right. So reality check, understanding the mindset that consistency over perfection. And then you need to understand like, okay, my training schedule needs to adapt to this here.
Yeah. I think like you can't, for example, I'll use one of our members as an example. Daniela, she's very busy right now in accounting season and all of these things, and so, you know, typically she more often comes to the gym in the evenings, but in recent weeks, in order to fit it into her schedule, she's been coming more frequently at 6 a.m, which is not her normal. Like, she comes every once in a while at 6 a.m, but she's not like a very ultra 6 a.m or ride or die with the 6 a.m crew. She just, when things get busy at work and she knows she's not going to be able to make it in the evening, she adapts and she comes in the morning at 6 a.m. So, you know, she's a prime example of being like very aware of her life demands. Okay. We're not saying like, oh, screw work, leave on time and, you know, come to the gym. Yes. Set yourself up with, you know, appointments and treat your gym time as an appointment that you're keeping with yourself. But also, you know, we have to be realistic. If you have to stay at work, you have to stay at work. So, okay, that doesn't mean I just give up entirely on my fitness. It means like I need to modify somewhere. I need to go to bed a little bit earlier so that I can go at 6 a.m. and I need to do whatever it takes to try and make it happen. And maybe it's not going to be perfect. Maybe instead of coming 4 times in that week, you end up only making it 3 times. Yeah.
So just having that like understanding of where you're at, having what we call like that reality check, like what's happening right now in your life. All right. Number 2, we'll talk about the biggest mistake, which is the all or nothing thinking.
Yeah.
So this is the person that might say, well, before I was training 5 days a week, now I can only come to the gym 3, maybe even 4 days. 4 days is hard. So like, screw it. Like, well, what's the point, right? Why am before I was so much fitter. I was able to do 5 sessions. Now I'm only doing 3 sessions. So this is useless.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say also like in a prime example of this sort of mindset, I think is when people haven't joined the gym yet and they're in the process of like coming for a free trial and then they're wanting to join and they're like, okay, perfect, I'm going to take a membership in July. And you're like, bro, it's April. Yeah. What do you mean you're going to take a membership in July? Like, exactly. Why are we not starting now? Oh, well, I'm really busy. I have this thing. I'm just like, I'm going to have more time in July. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, but that's amazing that you're busy and, you know, I totally understand and it's definitely tough, but doing something between now and July, even if it's not maybe what you would deem like your best, giving it your all, is still going to be ultra valuable in comparison to it's just saying like it's not worth doing anything until I'm more available, because the reality is, yes, we have busier seasons and less busy seasons, but you're never going to be like 100% available. You're always going to have to make time.
Always going to have something. This like concept of like, I'm going to be more free then. These are the people that are always going to keep pushing their fitness and their health for sure.
I mean, it works for like everything in life, It's like, like I'm gonna have a baby when I'm ready. You're never gonna be ready. Just have the baby, like I'm gonna do this when I'm ready. We're gonna get married when we do this, and it's like you're never gonna be ready. You're just always gonna have this is a fact. My mom told me this once. Shout out Mel Miller. There's always going to be a good excuse not to do something.
Yeah.
So you just have to accept that, like, take action and do it. Take the step, do the thing. So if you've been ultra consistent in coming 6 times a week and, life is getting in the way and you have to reduce it a little bit for a temporary period of time, well, it's a hell of a lot better to be coming to the gym 3 times a week than 0. Mm-hmm. So just like being conscious of that and just not trying to, I guess, do all or nothing.
Yeah, exactly. All or nothing thinking is going to be the biggest mistake. And the reality is that when you get through those like busier moments in life where life is a little bit more hectic and you can still crawl out the other end knowing that you've put yourself as somewhat of a priority, you are going to reap so many more rewards, like better results later down the line because you were able to get through that.
Yeah, you're going to build like so much self-confidence with yourself. You're going to feel so good about yourself for having made it happen. And also, I mean, the reality is for a lot of people, the gym is not just like a physical thing, it's a mental thing and all of that. And so if you are in a season of life that feels a bit chaotic right now, probably now more than ever, you need that 60 minutes to just decompress, get your mind off of whatever's keeping you busy, whether it's a new baby at home or a new team member at work that you're training or whatever it is that's keeping your mind busy so much. It's probably even more to your advantage, even more advantageous to your productivity or to your emotional clarity or anything to be taking the time to come to the gym.
For sure, yeah. Taking time away, you definitely lose all the mental, emotional, social elements that the gym
there's
provides
just,
for you.
So much value beyond just the like getting sweaty and building muscles.
Yeah. Okay. Next thing, third thing is the solution framework. All right. So we want to be solution oriented. We want to figure out like what to actually do rather than feeling somewhat like lost here. Right. So we want to, at the bare minimum, we want to keep it simple and also keep it like actionable. So knowing exactly what you're going to do and you're going to simplify everything. So part of that, or I guess part A of that, is actually like lowering the bar in a good way. So what is like the minimum amount of work for you to get the maximum amount of results in the moment right now? Right. If you're like, holy crap, like my schedule is freaking jam-packed right now. This project is taking so much out of me and I'm spending so many extra hours. Okay, well, you used to train 5 times. What is the minimum amount you know for sure that you can do? Okay, I know that the minimum amount I can hit 2 sessions, and then potential option for a 3rd session here, right? But you set the minimum to be, okay, these 2 sessions are going to be the sessions that I hit. The 3rd one is a bonus. If I get that 3rd one in, that's awesome, right? So you're kind of setting the expectation to be a little bit lower. You're setting your bar lower in a way that allows you to simplify it, right? And not feel like, fuck, how am I going to get 5 training sessions in this week? Like you're adding more stress to yourself right now. What's the minimum I can do to really like maximize it? The situation right now. Okay, the minimum is 2 sessions in right now. Okay, awesome. Or 3 sessions, whatever that is for you. All right. The other thing that Susie talked about before is scheduling it like an appointment.
Yeah.
Right. So when life becomes much more stressful, when time is taken or time is being pulled from you, right? The demand for you to be somewhere or to be doing something is very high right now. Well, you have to come away from this like I have to fit it into my schedule, and you have to make it a priority in the schedule here, right? So it's like, okay, my 2 minimum doses were like this day, this time. I'm booking them in. I'm putting them in my schedule, and there will be moments where you get to it and you're like, oh, like I'm just exhausted. I'm tired. Right. I don't want to go and train. My motivation is low right now. But you've put that into your calendar, just like showing up for Betty's wedding design or wedding dress shopping is locked into your appointment.
Betty was such a choice.
Betty's
like getting ready to marry her 7th husband, and like
damn 7.
I don't know. Betty sounds she's feisty, man.
So Betty needs you. Do we have a Betty in our gym? We don't have a Betty in our gym, man. That would have been hilarious.
I don't think I know a single human named Betty.
So Betty needs you for wedding shopping, and you've booked that into your calendar. Hey, Saturday at 9 a.m. I have to be at this dress store with the crew. So, on Monday at 12 p.m., I'm locking my gym session in. That's an important session for me, right?
Yeah.
Remove the thinking. When am I going to get my workout in? I'm not sure.
I'll see if I can fit it in. And then you just don't actually lock anything in, and you just hope and pray that somehow it'll just fall into your lap. It's not going to fall into your lap. Yeah. You have to be intentional. You have to book the time slot, and then you have to respect the booking.
Yeah. The other thing, part of that is for the solution framework is having a potential plan B for something that is not solidified. So like if there is an emergency situation that pulls you away from it, you have to have like some sort of plan B. Okay. There was a family emergency. I couldn't make it to the gym because like 30 minutes before my mom called me and she had like a medical issue and I had to go like see her right away. It's like, okay, well, plan B is going for a 20-minute run. I'm going outside and I'm going for a 20-minute run.
Right.
It doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be a 10K. It doesn't have to be intervals. It doesn't have to be this extraordinary thing. I'm literally just going to put my shoes on. I'm going to run/walk for 20 minutes outside.
Yeah.
Right. So just having a plan B just in case, rather than shoot, like there was an emergency that happened and now it's just like, all right, well, that session's completely gone, or I've lost that part of
and like that kind of adds on to the all or nothing mindset of everything. If you can't make it for the whole class at CrossFit, well, maybe you can make it for a 30-minute walk on your lunch break or something like that. Or maybe you can do a phone meeting on a walking pad at home. Like there's things that can be done that maybe aren't as great as being able to come for your 60-minute CrossFit class, but are still going to be of value.
Yeah. And then the last thing for the action for you, it's really important if life is busy right now and you're kind of decreasing the amount of training sessions, is you need to stack wins, right? You need to make sure you're stacking wins, doing the things that are going to be able to carry over to the next thing. So, at the beginning it could feel like, oh, I only got 3 training sessions in this week, right? Or, oh, I only got to go for 1 run this week, right? Versus stacking the win and be like, oh my God, because I went for my run this week, I felt so much better at work. I felt much more focused. I felt like I was in a better mood. I made a healthier decision at lunch to eat like a chicken salad versus like before I was feeling like a slob and I was kind of going for like, I don't know, a Subway sandwich, or I was taking fast food out rather than like eating something healthier, right? So stack wins along the way, right? I went to bed a little bit earlier, so I got a little bit of extra sleep so that I could wake up and do the 6 a.m. class and to be able to get my training session in, right? Like stack the wins. Try not to be surrounded by negativity in your brain. Negativity during a high stress or just a very demanding time is not going to, it's going to drain you. It's not going to bring you any sort of like good vibes. You want to be stacking wins along the way. Like, hell yeah, I was able to get my workout in.
Yeah.
Right.
Just having a positive outlook on everything is going to bring a more relaxed state of mind.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess the next thing I want to talk about was like real life examples, and maybe we can give some examples from like members at our gym.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with 1 or 2?
Yeah, well, I gave one earlier. Yeah. Daniela, shout out.
Yep.
Another great real life example, which I feel like I resonate with a little bit because we're in similar life chapters right now, would be our client Malice.
Yeah.
Malice has a toddler at home as well and has a demanding job. Her and her husband both work full time.
Yep.
And so the only way she can fit in her CrossFit training classes is to come at 6 a.m. So she does that 3 out of the 5 days in the week, and then is usually able to fit the other 2 days in elsewhere in her schedule. But, you know, that means that as a family, there's give and take. Malice has to wake up at 5 a.m. to make it to the gym so that she can get the workout done and then go work an entire full day after. She's a dentist too. She's not just doing like a desk job. So like sometimes it's a physically demanding job. Or
you're in someone's mouth doing surgery.
Yeah, like you know,
your shoulders are
you're
burning.
tired. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, as a consequence, it means that her husband therefore needs to do the morning routine with their toddler by himself. And then he's also doing workouts and fitness. It's a priority of their family. And so she often has to do dinner time or bath time alone so that he can also get his workout in. And so as a family, they're similar position to us. They're in a busy season of life with small kids. Small kids require your undivided attention when they're with you. Luckily, they go to bed not too late, but you know, they're still like they come home from daycare and they need your undivided attention for that amount of time. So you're really like on the clock from 7 to 7 if you're working and having a child in daycare age, and then you know, you're still trying to fit your workouts in outside of those hours. It's kind of exhausting, but empowering to feel like okay, I'm fitting it in and it's working.
I feel like almost I guess I'm trying to think of any that's not, but I think every single person who comes to that 6 a.m. is making the choice to get up early to do that. You know, I'm thinking of Jen and Dave. Yeah. Like they wake up mad early because then their daughter is waiting to go to school after that. And
they've trained their 9-year-old daughter how to like do her morning routine by herself.
Yeah.
And like walked her through all the things and then trust that she's going to wake herself up and everything so that they can come here.
Yeah. And they have 3 kids, by the way. Their other boys are a little bit older.
But they're not waking up with their little sister.
But no, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, they have 3 kids. They get here, 3 kids. 3 kids. 2 of them are.
They're kids forever, babe.
Yeah, kids forever. Yeah, but they get here before. They're entrepreneurs as well. They get their day going. They're working like hard throughout the day, you know.
I mean, Dave was telling us this morning he wakes up at 4:30.
Yeah.
So that he can like, I don't know, bake bread or something for the day. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. And I was like, Jen, where did you find him? And then you know what's so funny? Her answer, elementary school. And I was like, that's where I went wrong. I didn't find my husband when I was 4.
Yeah. It's so funny. But yeah, so like I shout out to all of our 6 a.m.ers for making
the
that
6 a.m.ers are
decision.
built.
There's like, and there's kind of like every person at like there's the normal 9 a.m.ers, the normal 12 p.m.ers, then the normal 4, 5, 6, 7 p.m.ers. But like thinking for like the morning people, some people have evening jobs or big weekend jobs, you know, like Jason has his own like cleaning company, so he like figures out how to get here to train before he goes and like does manual work all day. Eric is like a DJ and he works a lot more during like the evening, especially on the weekends and stuff, so like he really gets his training in throughout the weekdays, right? At 9 a.m. he loves to do that, right?
We have people who come on their lunch
break. Yeah, so like the typical 12 p.m.ers, like they're making a conscious decision to, rather than just like sitting at home doing nothing for that hour off, like they're okay, like click off their like computer, their meeting, whatever the heck they're doing, right? And they're like, okay, see ya, and then log off, immediately get into their cars, their gym stuff is already ready to go, head to the gym, and then they're like, get right back home after 60 minutes.
And probably they have to reorganize when they actually eat their lunch because of that.
Yeah.
You know, that's like Ocean and Elia are doing that a lot at the moment.
Yeah.
Who did I just had someone in my head? Oh yeah, we have 2 members who are our pilots. They're married and they're both pilots. Yeah, and
different situation entirely for them.
Very unique schedules. When they're not here, they're really, really not here. They're sometimes gone for 2-3 days at a time in different parts of the world. They're jet lag. They're off normal hours, and so for them, unlike most of our members who are a 6 a.m. or a 9 a.m. or 12 12 p.m. Or we have Tom and Siobhan who are like whenever they're in Montrealers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they'll like bring their shoes with them and go for runs.
Yeah.
They'll do cycling. Like they'll drop in at CrossFit gyms around the freaking world,
cool.
you know, so like, or go to hotels. And
People are making it happen.
so, yeah, there's a whole bunch of like, or a lot of people, even like, I want to shout out the evening people. A lot of people will make sure that like they pack their gym stuff in their car so that it removes the thought process of like, should I go home and should I get ready and should I get dressed to go to the gym? It's like I go from work and I purposely want to go straight to the gym. And I was having that conversation with Josiane yesterday, and she's like, hey, like sometimes I can get here for the 4, but sometimes most of the time it's really hard. So I usually sign up for the 5. I really don't want to go home. Like, is it okay if I just sign out of the 5 and do the 4 p.m. class? I'm like, absolutely, for sure. And like those key things are important because she's like, I know that if I go home, I'm not going to want to leave my house to come to the gym, right? So a lot of the evening people make that conscious decision to get all their shit ready, to have it in their car or at work so that when they leave work, they go straight to the gym. And then after that, then they go home and relax.
They're leaving their house in the morning, let's say 7:30, something like that in the morning.
Yeah.
And then they're committing to not coming back until like 7 at night. By the
Yeah.
time they've done their work day, they come here and they get their workout, they get home, and then, you know, they have to eat dinner. So I'm sure there's a lot of meal prepping that goes into making sure you have your supper ready when you get home. And you know, packing your bag. I see these jokes all the time, these reels on Instagram of like busy people, and they, you know, they're leaving their house and they like, looks like they have like a luggage because they're like have their lunch and their supper with them and their gym clothes and their work clothes and their whatever. And it's like, yeah, it's true. It really requires a lot of packing, a lot of equipment, a lot of stuff.
It's so funny. This is Alana. When she comes into the gym, she has like backpack, massive lunch box, probably 2 backpacks on. I'm like, whoa, are you going camping right now? Like, what the heck? But yeah, so that's very, very cool. The last thing I want to talk about is the shift. There needs to be a shift that happens.
Yeah.
All right. Like a lifestyle shift. Fitness is meant to support your life, not compete with it.
Right.
Right. What you do in the 60 minutes in the gym is supposed to have a positive impact on the other 23 hours outside the gym.
Right.
Right. So this whole like everything that we've kind of said, just kind of like bringing it all together here, you're not failing if you have to reduce the amount of frequencies you come to the gym. Right. Yeah. You're not failing if you're not progressing as fast as you were when you were able to train 5 times per week. Right. You're not failing because you're spending more time with your kids, or you're spending more time on big work projects or school projects or things like that, because you're not spending more hours in the gym. The gym is meant to be a support for your life, and the gym brings a ton of emotional, mental health elements and social elements, and it brings a ton of like physical components, like when our body feels good, when we feel that like my skin feels tight, my muscles have that pump right now, like I feel like the endorphins are going, like it's supposed to elevate your life outside of the gym here. So again, knowing that there's that shift and realizing where you are in life, creating that structure, creating that plan, understanding like you don't have to be all in. Right. You don't have to be all in or nothing here. You know, you're stacking the wins slowly here and there. One thing leads to another that's going to help build the victories, right? And then just knowing that like where you're at in life, like this is supposed to support you, right? It's supposed to be a big part of your life. Like it's supposed to be a non-negotiable. Yeah. But it, like we said before, hopefully life isn't not always supposed to super add stress stressful. To your life. Yeah. Yeah. It's supposed to help alleviate the stress. So
doesn't mean we can be wishy-washy. It just means that we can adapt.
Yeah. Any closing remarks, my love?
Nah, let's get to client of the week.
Client of the week
pew, 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 pew.
Is someone who has been putting in a ton of work over the last
few months.
Few months. Yeah, I think since the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
He's very busy individual in the work component. His work takes a lot of his time.
Yep.
He just started here a few months back, and he actually started in January. I started in January, and he is always asking for little things to be working on and improving outside of the gym as well. He's been doing planks in between work meetings, push-ups in between work meeting. When he's in the class, he's always trying to learn. He's always trying to take in as much information as possible. So I really appreciate this a lot about this client.
We love that.
And that client is Sylvain.
Woo!
So shout out
Sylvain.
Shout out to Sylvain.
Killing it.
Him and Julie are just a beautiful couple. I love seeing their dynamic.
I love having couples in the gym.
We were doing like banded clamshells yesterday in the class as like a glute activation, and like Julie's always trying to help him because he's a little bit newer here, and she was just trying to like close his, like, stop him from rotating his body. So she put like her hand on his hip, and I was like, you just wanted to touch his bum, didn't you? So shout out to Sylvain for being such an awesome client. He's the cool thing is, like, what can I do in between meetings at work? Like, I'm always on meetings. I'm always working really, really hard.
I love that.
And
moving
he's doing
the needle.
He's doing
Small
push-ups.
progress.
He started with like 4x10 push-ups throughout the day. Now I think he's on 4x17 push-ups, which is freaking cool.
I love that.
He was doing like pull-ups yesterday. So anyways, really cool mindset, and love your attitude, Sylvain. Thank you for being such an awesome person in our community here. All right, guys, we hope that you enjoyed this episode. Remember, life is demanding at some times. Sometimes we're going to be able to put a little bit more into our training. Other times we're going to have to put a little bit less. But training is overall a non-negotiable. We just got to figure out the bare minimum.
It's a lifestyle, folks.
All right. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.
Bye.